you passionate about?
What am I passionate about? Oh wow. I'm passionate about many things. I'm passionate about the truth. Because I think, you know, like for example, within the black community we have so many problems. And coming from a mixed background, I've always realized that every culture has something to give towards what we see in society today. But I think the truth has been hidden in terms of where my people has come from and what they've contributed. And I think that's affected my self-image. And the only way I was able to be proud of my self-image is because my uncle sat me down and showed me things on the internet and said, look what have someone that looks just like you've done. And it just made me realize, like, I don't have to reinvent the wheel over again. You know, we've done it already, so I can just expand on that, improve on that. So yeah, I'm passionate about letting people know about who they are and where they come from. And you know, that's part of my dream, because the only way the world is going to be equal is when every community, every culture is actually bought into the idea of what civilization is about. You know, we did not just flourish from the Western world. The world did not start in the West. You know, technology and all these things, if you look at technology, you realize where a lot of these things are coming from. It's from the same place your ancestors come from. So I think for me that is very fundamental, because that's the only way I can set myself free and be happy with who I am. And I think a lot of young people and a lot of people in general today are not happy in their own skin. This is why a lot of people have cosmetic surgery. This is why a lot of people are going through depression and all of that, because they're not happy with their world.
They don't know who they are.
Exactly.
And if you don't know who you are, you're going to behave like a misfit.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what's being displayed and played out.
Yeah. And I think, you know, the problem is that nobody wants to talk about it because they're always worried about hurting somebody else's feelings. I just got to a point, I don't care anymore. Like, listen, I'm proud of who I am. If you're not proud of it, that's your business. You know, like, racism is your problem, not mine. Like, I'm going to deal with it. And I think, you know, we need to start, like, talking to young people more about it. Because the more we don't talk about it, the more it's a taboo situation. And it gets swept under the carpet. And then young people are going through certain problems and they don't know why they're going through it, because nobody wants to talk about it. And, you know, it's crazy, man.
One of the things a lot of young people say, I've been speaking to quite a few the last few weeks, is that there are no opportunities for us. We go to school, do our exams, there are no jobs. What do you say?
I think there's a lot of jobs out there. I was reading a book about Julie Meyer called Welcome to Entrepreneur Country, and she owns a business called Ariadne Capital, and she invests in technology businesses like Skype, Monetize, etc. And one of the things she said is that the world is changing, that everybody's going to be more in control of their life. And one thing that we have at the moment is data. We give our data away to every business, you know, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's Specsavers, any industry, with a return of just a simple product. And we don't realize that these businesses are not making most of their money off of the products that they're selling you, but they're making a lot of their money off the information that they're gaining off of you, that you give away freely. And I think if we talk about there's not a lot of jobs out there, okay, fair enough, but create your own. You know, do something that somebody else is not doing, or if anything, do it better, improve on it. You know, if you feel that you tried to get a job in JD Sports and JD Sports said, no, we don't have a job for you, okay, so what are you going to do? You know, if you feel you're good at making clothes, make your own clothing line. You don't have to sell a lot in order to be successful, but make something sustainable. And I think there's a difference between having something sustainable as opposed to having something that's like a best success. And we think success is having a high street shop on every corner. Success is just being able to support yourself. Like, as long as you can support your dreams, support your current lifestyle, you're good to go. So in terms of unemployment, I'm not going to let that be the reason why I don't make money. I'm not going to let that be the reason why I don't achieve what I want to achieve. Because the only reason we need money is to do what we want to do. And I think we need to start exploiting our social capital. I think we need to start looking at the people around us and seeing what they can help us with. And we don't have to always exchange money in order to get to where we need to go to. Skills. Exchange skills. If you know how to create a video and your friend knows how to create music, work together. And you realize you get so much further than you would if you done it by yourself. And if we look at it from that point of view, we start to realize how many people around us are so resourceful.
One of my mentors always says that a recession breeds resourcefulness.
Definitely.
And that's a time where, this is a time when we can all create our own opportunities, our own enterprises. You mentioned to me the other day that you've got a little business that you're developing with some young people. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I've always, like, one of the first things I wanted to become was a chef. I love to cook. I love to eat as well.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Sustenance.
Yeah, and I thought to myself, I was just like, okay, coming from the States, people think Americans only eat burgers and chips. So I said, okay, all right, fair enough. But I didn't grow up on burgers and chips. Like, my grandmother cooked soul food, and she cooked food that was good for you. And I thought to myself, I always wanted to own a restaurant, so why not go for it? And I've decided to put together a business called American Bites, which, you know, is a small diner, but it allows young people to come together, have nice American food. So we're talking about apple pie, peach cobbler, all these, you know, cornbread, like all of these staple foods that you hear about in American TV and American movies, and give young people that cultural experience. You know, also educate them as well in terms of like the history, as well as creating a social hub for young people. You know, because I want to create a place where young people come, eat, enjoy themselves, get entertainment, as well as just relax. You know, I see too many people sitting down at McDonald's, not because they want to buy McDonald's, because they need a place to just hang out. They don't want to go to the youth club, but at the same time they want to be in somewhere different. And I feel a lot of young people in London especially are not exposed to different areas, different opportunities, different experiences. So it'd be a great idea to create something where young people feel that they're part of and inclusive. And I want to be able to give young people a chance to be employed and get some experience. Because the first thing you do is when you get a job, they said, do you have any experience? And you say to them, boy, just come out of school, what experience do you expect me to have? And it's amazing, but at the same time, I'm just like, you know what, I need to do something about this. So that's one of my ideas. And that's the only idea that I have so far that's in terms of creating private profit. The rest of them I really want to develop a social enterprise. And I guess that's the part of getting young people a chance to be entertained, relax, have an environment to feel safe around. And, you know, take away some money from the big businesses and give it back to the community. I have a big idea that businesses should invest in their community. And I'm not talking about investing in local councils, because that's what they think. We flick a little money over there, they're going to let us build a new Tesco's. You know, I think if anything, what we need to do is give more young, small businesses a chance to become sustainable. And that's what you create a local economy. So if we're going to talk about the recession and getting out the recession, we need to talk about those values and, you know, what we put value to. Like, stop putting value to a pair of Nikes, sneakers, or stop putting value to a car and stuff like that. And realize that the most valuable thing you have is yourself, your brain, you know, who you are, protect it. Because, you know, we allow people to destroy it too easily.
That is just so powerful what you just said. Protect your brain. We allow people to get into our minds.
Oh, yeah.
The media, people, every day we're walking around, we're being manipulated.
Yeah.
So how do you find the strength to say, no more, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I am this unique individual. No one else has this DNA. I've been put on this earth for a purpose, and I'm going to do what I've been called to do.
Yeah. I think, you know, sometimes you have to eliminate the amount of inputs you're getting into your life. And TV is not helpful. You know, my mom always allowed us to watch TV, but that wasn't our own option, because I was smart enough to say, oh, this is not interesting me anymore. Like, what do I do? My mom used to say to me, go read a book. And it's only now I realize, like, yeah, I am reading books more. But it's about realizing, okay, everybody has a agenda. You know, everybody, not even from your parents. Your parents want the best for you. So that's why they tell you to go to school. Even when you're sick, get up and go to school. If you're not sick, if you don't want to go to school, stay in bed all day. Because you know what? Education is the right way for you. And we have our own ways of fulfilling our agendas. So if you look at the industry, for example, what is their agenda? When you watch something on television, ask yourself, why is it that they want me to see this? What are they gaining from it? And one of the prime examples is how many times you buy something and you take it home and you realize you didn't really need it, or you didn't really want it. And that's because you've been put in a situation where your thoughts has been manipulated. One of the things that I was reading is the idea of that your thoughts are not yours. Everything you think does not belong to you. So don't allow your thoughts to be who you are in a sense. Don't let that to develop your character entirely. You know, you're able to hear something in your head or think something and say, you know what, that's not positive. Let me throw that away. They say for every positive thought you have 4 negative thoughts. And if you act on those 4 negative thoughts, then your life will be depressing. It will be everything you don't want it to be. And in order to make sure you're on the right path where you want to go, I think it's always best at the end of the day is just to sit down, give yourself 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and just think about the day. Think about what you've done, and think about what you've achieved, and then set up for the next day. Like, give yourself time to process everything. Like, when we're tired, yeah, we go to sleep. We go straight to sleep or whatever, but we don't give ourselves time just to think. We're always trying to occupy our time.
How do you find that balance in your life?
I think my mother, I keep on saying my mom, she allows me to do a lot of things. And I guess as a support system, you have to find a support system. And I know sometimes it's hard because not everybody has somebody in their life that can be that support system. But you'd be quite surprised. You know, you don't always have to stay in your house to get some peace and quiet. Like, go to the park, go to the library. Go somewhere where you can feel inspired, you know. If you like acting, go to the theater, you know. If you like music, go outside in the subways and hear people, you know, the busters playing music. Like, inspire yourself. You have to take yourself out of that comfort zone, and it's scary. But once you take yourself out of that comfort zone, you start to realize that you're expanding on what you know. And when you meet other people and you tell them what you know, they're so fascinated by it. And you realize once you start to change how you think, what you attract, things are attracted to you. You know, it's this idea of like, yeah, I don't want to drive. And I wanted to drive for a while now, and I'm like, okay, right now I can't afford a car, so what am I going to do? I've put myself in a situation where I'm focusing on not only driving, but what I'm good at. And what I'm good at is meeting other people, communicating, you know, teaching young people and other things that I do. And just basically focusing on how I save, you know, where I spend my money on. And funny enough, my mother, birthday came up, her brother bought her a car, and she gave that car to me and my brother, and she said to me, you know, whoever gets the license first will be able to drive it more often, but you guys work together. But it's funny how just by doing what I need to do, but having that interest in mind that I want to drive, but still staying focused on my life, it's come to me in an indirect way. Now, 3 months ago, I would have never thought that my uncle would have gave my mother a car and she would have given it to us. You know what I mean? But I think the only reason it came to me was because I allowed my mind, myself to think that, you know what, okay, Jacob, you want the car, but the car's going to come. In order for you to get the car, you have to deal with what's happening at the moment. And that means make sure you focus in college. That means make sure if you have a job, you're doing what you need to do. That means stop spending time on your BlackBerry or watching TV and just get things done. And then once you get those things done, it's amazing. Like, you know, they say, yeah, magic doesn't exist. Yeah, I believe in magic. Whatever you want to call it. The higher power, the power of attraction, the law of attraction, or whatever it may be. It's amazing once you start thinking on that direct line, like having faith. You know, I think when we hear certain words, we think religious. When I hear faith, when I hear hope, religion, whatever, religion. But reality is, when you look at the definition of faith, and, you know, having that strong belief on a subconscious level, what happens to you. You know, it's the idea of, you know, knowing that you want something so bad to the point that it's gone beyond your everyday thinking. It's inside you. It's amazing what happens.
It's interesting you say that. And the reason why I said that, I've read the book Think and Grow Rich. Have you read that book before?
Is it by Napoleon Hill?
Napoleon Hill.
I've been reading it. Yeah.
And the very thing that you're speaking about right now is one of the topics that I very often go over. And it's about that desire and that passion. Yeah. You didn't just think, I want to drive, I want a car. You saw it and you were very intentional about it. Yeah. And because you were, you said you started to focus on doing the other things. So you put out an intention, you knew what you wanted, and it took care of itself. Yeah. But you had to do your part of the work. Yeah. And sometimes this is where people fail to get what they want in life because they're not prepared to give up something. Yeah. In order to have the thing they desire.
Definitely. And what I have to give up was, you know, the idea of doing everything everybody else was doing. Because it wasn't helping me. Like, you know, when you really evaluate who's around you and who actually loves you and cares for you, it's not many. But those people that are around you give you the support that you need. Their influence is so strong that you feel that you're surrounded by strength. You feel that you're protected. You know, some people might only have that one person, and it's that one person that's making them stand tall. You know, I was watching Tyler Perry, and he was doing a play, and he said that a tree can have, it could be a great grandest tree, the biggest tree I've ever seen, and it can only have 3 roots. And it's those 3 roots that give substance to the tree and make the tree grow and make it everything that it is. You don't have to have 20 friends. And I'm not saying go out there and say, hey, I don't want to be your friend anymore, but you got to ask them, what are you doing for me? Like, how are we helping each other? You know, are we expanding from this relationship? And you know, when we think about relationships, we think about a couple. We never think about it as two friends. You know, so we expect a lot from a relationship within a couple, but we don't expect a lot from a friendship.